Good afternoon, everybody. I'm going to call the meeting to order. I would like to begin by acknowledging that we are in Treaty 1 territory and the traditional homeland of the Métis Nation. My name is Marla Billinghurst, and I'll be chairing this meeting this afternoon. With me on the panel this afternoon are Ms. Lori Davidson and Ms. Gisela Rempel. Our assessor today is Ms. Jennifer Nichols, and our recording secretary is Ms. Katie Sutherland. We will be hearing applications for revision of the assessment roll in accordance with the Municipal Assessment Act. The matters for which revision is requested have been described in each application, and we will limit discussion to those matters. The statements that applicants or the assessor make at this hearing are sworn testimony, and anyone speaking to the matters must be sworn in, or you may affirm. Be advised that comparisons of assessments of properties are not considered evidence of market value by the Board of Revision. The Board of Revision is appointed annually by Council and is independent of it and the City Administration. It makes its decisions on the basis of the evidence provided at this hearing and issues a written order that will be mailed to all parties as soon as possible. Please note that the Board's decisions with respect to an application may be appealed to the Manitoba Municipal Board if the matter pertains to assessed value or classification, or to the Court of Queen's Bench if the matter pertains to the application of exemption from taxation. Should you wish to appeal, information on how to do so will be included with the Board's order. With respect to the hearing process this afternoon, I will confirm the matters to be addressed with each applicant following the swearing in. We will then have the assessor's testimony, followed by questions that the applicant may have, and then the applicant's testimony, followed by questions. Each side will have an opportunity to summarize if they wish. Once all the evidence about an application has been brought forward, the applicant may leave. The process will repeat for each item on the docket today, and the session will close after all the applications have been heard, and the Board will deliberate in private and make its decisions. You will receive the order by registered mail as soon as possible. As information, all public hearings are live streamed, recorded, and will be part of the public record. Thank you. The first matter today is 94 Shoreline Drive. Please come forward. Oh, I didn't. Oh, sorry. I don't have the. Okay. Can I have a highlighted copy? Oh, okay, sorry. I have the wrong copy here. Okay, sorry. 19 Grassy Lake Drive. Please come forward and have a seat. Sorry, that was crossed off.
It's okay. If I could get 31 Swan Drive and 228 Grenfell, if you guys could just go sit outside for now, so we can have, yeah, you can sit down here.
Why are they going outside?
Because they're bring more people in.
Oh, there's more people outside? Oh,
When
okay.
they come.
Are they here already?
They should be here soon. Sit down.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, no, they can sit here if they want to watch, because maybe they want to see the process.
Yeah. But then I have to switch them up.
Yeah, but if the other people aren't even here.
Okay, you can affirm or, okay, so please state your name. Jennifer Nichols. Do you affirm that the evidence you're about to present is the whole truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? I do. Thank you. So please stand, and please state your name.
My name is Sohaiba Ahmed.
Okay, so you can swear in the Bible or you can affirm. Would you like to affirm?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you affirm that the evidence that you're about to present is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you. Okay.
Please proceed.
So the first property is 19 Grassy Lake Drive. This property is a bi-level, built in 2011, living area of.
No.
No,
Oh,
sorry,
should I-
let her,
Oh,
she's
okay.
gonna go first, and then you can ask questions.
Sure.
So,
Living area of 1,698 square feet, full basement which is finished, 3 full bathrooms, air conditioning, and an attached garage. The lot size is 5,211 square feet. So the 2020 assessment for this property is currently $458,000 or $269.73 per square foot.
Sorry, did you read in the roll number?
I don't think so.
Okay, could you please?
Okay, roll number 0309160420.
Thank you.
So the first comparable is 75 Southview Crescent, which is also in South Point, same as the subject. This property is a bi-level as well, built in 2012, slightly larger at 1,714 square feet. It does have a full basement, which is also finished, 2 full bathrooms, 1/2 with a shower, central air conditioning, and attached garage. Lot size is similar at just over 5,000 square feet. And this property sold almost right at the reference date, March 2018, for $475, which is just over $277 per square foot. The second comparable is 10 Caribou Crescent, also in South Point, also bi-level, built in 2011, just a little bit larger, 1,735 square feet, full basement, which is finished, 3 full bathrooms, central air conditioning, and an attached garage. Again, the lot size here is very similar, 5,197 square feet. And this property sold in January of 2017 for $455, which gives a time adjustment of $475 or $274 per square foot. Comparable 3 is at 56 Caribou Crescent, which is also in South Point, bi-level, built in 2011, 1,714 square feet. This property does not have a finished basement listed. It does have 2 full bathrooms with air conditioning and an attached garage. The lot size is very similar at $5,225 per square foot. This property did sell for slightly less than the other two at $415,000, or with the time adjustment, $439,900 and $256 per square foot. So it's lower because no finished basement. And the last comparable is at 86 Caribou, which is in South Point, also bi-level, built in 2011, 1,740 square feet, with a finished basement, 2 full bathrooms, 1/2 bathroom and a shower, air conditioning, and attached garage. This property has a lot which is 4,960 square feet, just slightly smaller than the subject, and this property sold for $468,000, or with the time adjustment, $482,500, which is $277 per square foot. So looking at the comparables compared to the assessment of the subject, I think that the subject is definitely assessed fairly, and also these comparables, so especially 2 and 3 were on MLS and had very standard finishes. There was no fancy granite countertops or anything like that. So in that sense, they were also comparable to the subject. Comparable 1, I would have said, was just a little bit above standard. Also, one of the higher ones per square foot. So, but even taking those things into account, I do think that the subject is fairly assessed.
Thank you very much. Do you have questions for the assessor
Um,
of her evidence?
the year the house is built, actually 2013, but I'm not sure if this is important or not. The house, since we bought it.
Okay, right now, just questions for her. You'll have a
No,
chance
no.
to give your evidence, but do you have any questions about her evidence?
No, I don't.
Okay, thank you. Stevenson, you have a question?
Has the home been inspected recently?
The home was, let me just double check the notes. There was an inspection done in April of 2019.
Thank you. I have no more questions.
Ms.
Thanks.
Russell?
Yes, I'm wondering, under the subject sale history for 2013, it says there was a sale of $102,900. And then 2013, again, $373,864. So I'm thinking this house was built in 2013, not 2011.
It could be. I don't think that would have a large impact on the assessment, but that would just make it newer, which would.
Yeah, I'm the owner of the house. I built it. We take it August 2015.
I can double check the permits when I get back to the office. I'm not sure, I don't have that kind of information.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Rumpel, any further questions?
No, that's it,
Oh, okay,
thank you.
thank you. I have no questions. Okay, so please proceed with your evidence.
Yeah, and did you have evidence that you wanted to share with the panel?
Yeah, I called two agencies to come and evaluate the house, tell us exactly the value of it. And Trudy Johnson, sorry, the quality of the printing out is not good, but I have it here on my phone.
Okay,
We can't use evidence from your phone?
We can.
No.
but is it on?
Yeah, it shows how much it needs to be done, the value of it, to make it closer to the other houses that's similar to ours.
Okay,
It's not-
yeah, the quality is not great. Do you want me to make copies or?
Sure.
Yeah.
How many copies did she?
Just one?
Yeah, I tried it twice, but sorry.
Is that one a little better or no, they're the same? Do you want me to make copies?
Yeah, I guess we'll need copies.
Okay, I'm just gonna, we'll just recess.
Can I?
Okay, so we're back on? Yeah. Okay, thank you. Okay, please proceed with your presentation.
Yeah, so we bought this house at 2013. The basement was not finished, but we got the cheapest to build the basement just to make it work, and that's like 15,000. So the basement is not in good condition, like it's not like good builder or anything. So the upstairs, the kitchen, it needs to be redone completely, even if we don't sell it, because the cabinet, the countertop, everywhere is not good. The backyard is not finished, and the house needs to be painted, the carpet needs to be changed, 2 bathrooms need to be like redone, because the quality of the cabinet everywhere is not good. So I got that agency, to just 2 of them actually, but I brought just one and I sent her one. She said, and she didn't include even the painting for that one. She said at least we need 70,000 to just bring it to the look for the other houses around us. So. And for the kitchen and the blinds, I got some quotes. I give it to you already. How much that would cost? I went to Home Depot. For the backyard, he give you the estimation. He said at least 30,000. For sure, we're not going to go for 30,000, but still, this is the value of how the patio and the back will cost.
Is that your evidence? Do you have anything else to add?
That
Okay. Do you have questions?
So, I'm just looking at the first page here, that has, I guess, the costs of some items. I just wanted to point out there are a couple of things here that we don't assess for, like window coverings and landscaping. Just kind of pointing that out, I'm not sure if you were aware of that. Also, the first 4 comparables, were you aware that they were sold after the reference date of April 1st, 2018? So they sold after the reference date, so not sales that we could, that I would be looking at for sure.
Sorry, English is my second language and my hearing is not that good. So you said the house is sold?
So the first 4 sales,
Oh,
yeah, they're houses that sold after, the sale date is after the reference date, which is April 1st of 2018. So they're not sales that would have been used in the value of your property.
Still, I can't get it.
Okay, we cannot look at any
Of the-
sale comparables that occurred after the reference date of April 1st, 2018. So
Uh-huh.
you provided us with ones that sold in 2019
Uh-huh.
and some that sold after April 1st, 2018, so we can't look at that evidence. We can only look at sale comparables,
But yeah.
April 1st,
whatever
2018
she-
or prior.
Yeah, whatever she valued the house, the agency said, this is how much it cost us to make it like, for 460 or 58, yeah. So we have to do all this work, whatever he has here, the 70,000, to bring the house to that value, she valued it already. Even if we didn't take that evidence.
Okay, thanks. So do you have any other questions?
No.
Thank you. Ms. Rumpel?
I just have one question, and that is, did you build this house? Did you buy the lot and build it, or?
Yeah, we did.
Okay. And it says here on your estimate, the landscaping would be $10,000. Have you never done any landscaping on your house?
When you said landscaping, is just the grass or what?
The grass, the trees, the shrubs, the whatever you...
Just, yeah, the grass for the front,
So you've done the grass in the front?
yeah,
And nothing in the back?
and nothing fancy, no, nothing.
Okay, thank you.
Ms. Davidson?
I have no questions, thank you.
I just have one question. Did you build a deck? Is there a deck on the house?
Now we started, yes,
Oh, you started it?
yeah.
Oh, okay. And how much did that, is this the quote for building the deck?
Yeah, that
Oh,
what
okay.
he gave us, but we went for 10,000, which is some of it now. We're gonna do the rest when we have the money.
Oh, okay. Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Sorry, I'm just picking that. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, the next matter is 47 Malone Street.
So I'm just.
Oh, you're
Oh,
fine.
thank you.
So you can affirm or just affirm, okay? So, please state your name, date of birth. Do you affirm that the evidence you're about to present is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? And do you have any evidence to present? Thank you very much.
Thank you. Please proceed.
Okay, so 47 Malone Street, roll number 0100441730. This property is a one-story, built in 1976. Living area 1,366 square feet. Full basement, which is finished. 2 full bathrooms, 1 half bathroom, central air conditioning, an attached garage, and an in-ground pool. The lot area for this property is 8,998 square feet, and the 2020 assessment is currently at $382,000 or $279.65 per square foot. The first comparable is at 55661 Betsworth Avenue, which is in the same neighborhood as the subject. Also a one-story, built in 1973, slightly larger at 1,534 square feet. Has a full basement, which is also finished, a full bathroom, 2 half bathrooms and a shower, central air conditioning, and a detached garage. This property has a lot which is slightly larger at 9,736 square feet. It does have a light traffic influence. And this property sold in March of 2017 for $370,000, or a time adjusted sale price of $378,100, or $246.48 per square foot. The second comparable is 58 Buckle Drive, also in the same area as the subject. It's a one-story built in 1976, 1,340 square feet, full basement, which is finished, one full bathroom, one half bathroom, air conditioning, and an attached garage. This property has a lot which is smaller than the subject's, 6,895 square feet. This property sold for $327,500, or $341,300 after the time adjustment. The third comparable is 54 Cadets Bay, again in the same neighborhood, a one-story built in 1976. This property has a slight effective age of 1981, which would indicate some minor renovations have been done to this property. 1,381 square feet, so very similar in square footage. Full basement, central air conditioning, an attached single-car garage, and this property also has a pool, so similar to the subject. This property has a larger lot, 10,635 square feet, and this property sold for $379,900, or $381,800 after the time adjustment, which ends up being $276.47 per square foot. 616 Berkeley, again in the same neighborhood, one story built in 1977. Again, this property is slightly larger, 1,544 square feet, full basement which is finished, one full bathroom, one half bathroom, central air conditioning, and a detached garage for this property. This property has a lot which is 12,392 square feet, and it sold for $435,000, or $439,800 after the time adjustment, which is $284.84 per square foot. So for these properties, I did also want to note that the first two properties, comparable 1 and 2, have no renovations, or just very, very minor renovations, but they're both still dated properties. And comparable 1 has a sunroom, which is similar to the subject. And comparables 3 and 4 have some level of minor renovations done, nothing very fancy or dramatic. And comparable 3 has a sunroom, which is again similar to the subject. So all in all, looking at the comparables and the range in the sale price per square foot, I think that the comparable falls definitely within that range. And looking at comparable number 3, which I would suggest is probably the most comparable property, I think it's falling right where it should.
Thank you. Do you have questions for the
I
assessor?
do have a question. I'm curious how the time-adjusted price is calculated.
It's calculated by the model, and it, I'm not sure I could explain exactly how it calculates it, but it is a computer calculated.
Is it based on the rate of inflation, or, like, that's where my head went to, but I'm just trying to understand how, if a sale price and now it's adjusted to be different, I was just curious how that is calculated.
So, like, the original sale prices would have been what the actual sale price was on the date that they sold, but because we want to try to figure out what the property would have sold for on April 1st, the computer, it's just through it, like, analyzing the sales, it's not to do with inflation. Yeah, it just basically analyzes the sales and figures out what the adjustment would be to bring it to April 1st.
Is that based on the neighborhood or the city or postal code or?
No, it would, I believe it's based on neighborhood. Yeah. That's all my questions.
Thank you. Ms. Rocco?
Yes, I'm wondering if you would happen to know what the average square foot price increase in this neighborhood was since the last assessment?
I don't know.
Okay, thank you.
Any further questions?
No, that's it,
Oh, okay,
thank
sorry.
you.
Ms. Davidson?
I have a question. So, it sold in 2018, but did it sell in, is it November 6th it sold?
Yeah, it was a
So
close.
just outside the,
It was a close run.
yes, so,
I'm not sure the exact month that it sold.
oh, okay.
Yeah,
I'm just looking at this last page and it has,
I think that's the applicant's evidence.
oh, okay, sorry, yeah, it is actually. The other quick question is you said that, comp 3 was the closest in your view, to the subject property. So I'm looking at these comparables, and like the year is 76 for the subject, yet comp 3 is 81, and the houses are the same size and they have pools, but the lot sizes are quite different, like, so what is the difference? Is it the lot size then is the driver? Because they're approximately the same. In fact, the subject property is a higher cost per square foot, even though the comp is a significantly bigger property.
You mean the lot size?
Yeah, it's, the subject is 8,000, almost 9,000 square feet, and the comp is 10,600.
I think that would, in my opinion, that would have more of an impact if the subject had a smaller than average lot size, but at almost 9,000 square feet, that's still quite a large lot.
Okay.
So I don't think in this case that would make a big difference.
Okay, what about the fact that it's a newer house? Like the effective age, I mean, it has been brought up where it was 81 versus 76.
For this subject property, I can't say what the level of renovation is at the current time.
Okay.
So, yeah, I'll just leave it at that. Comparable 3, like the effective age, the renovations that were done are not any major,
Right.
it's not like a total renovation, it's just like some minor upgrades.
All right. And was the subject inspected recently?
Let's see. I don't have any notes about a
Okay.
recent inspection.
Okay, thank you. That's all, thank you.
I have no questions. Okay, please proceed with your presentation.
Okay, so this is my first time doing this, so I'm sorry if I miss anything. I printed out the status of title just to prove we recently bought this property, so about a year ago. We took possession November 1st of last year, and we paid less than what the assessed value was. So I just thought since we do know what it stands for on the market, we paid $343,330, which is considerably less than $382. So I just thought I would come and present my case saying we bought it on the market doesn't match what the assessed value is, and that's my case.
Okay, thank you very much. Do you have questions for the applicant?
The only question I guess that I have, well, I guess is first that because the sales post reference is not something that I can consider when I'm looking, just kind of to let you know. But have you done any renovations to the property since you purchased it?
No, our plan is to, but we haven't. That was all.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Rumpel?
I have no questions, thank you.
Ms. Davidson?
I have no questions either, thank you.
And I have no questions either. Thank you very much. Sorry. Oh, okay. Okay. Next property is 31 Swan Drive.
Would you like to swear or affirm? So, please state your name.
Jacek Strzelczyk.
Do you affirm that the evidence you're about to present is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Okay, and please state your name.
Jennifer Strelzik.
Do you affirm that the evidence you're about to present is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Do you guys have evidence for the comment? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks very much.
Oh, thank you. Please proceed.
so 31 Swan Drive, roll number 01-000-615-800. This property is a two-story, built in 1995, living area of 3,300 square feet. This property does have a full basement, which is finished. There are 2 full bathrooms, 2 half bathrooms, and 2 showers, central air conditioning, and an attached garage. The lot size is 10,648 square feet, and it does have a regional park influence. It backs onto Assiniboine Park. And the 2020 assessment for this property is $902,000 or $273.33 per square foot. So the challenge with this property was finding properties that were as large. This property is over 3,000 square feet. So to that end, I did look in some other areas. So comparable one, 46 William Marshall Way is in Ridgedale. And if you're wondering where it is, there's a map on the second page which shows you where the comparables are in relation to the subject. Okay, so 46 William Marshall Way is a two-story built in 1993, 2,982 square feet, so it is smaller than the subject. Full basement, which is finished, 2 full bathrooms, 2 half, 2 showers, central air conditioning, and an attached garage. Has a similar lot size at 10,987 square feet. And this property sold for, the time adjusted sale price is $681,400 or $228.50 per square foot. So this property, 46 William Marshall Way, has a similar level of renovation to the subject. And I did do an inspection of this property. And the only thing I would say about this comparable is that the location is inferior. It's not quite as good of a location as the subject property. Comparable 2 is 28 Turcotte Cove, which is in the neighborhood of Elmhurst. It's a two-story built in 1991. This property is smaller than the subject at $2,658 per square foot. The full basement, which is finished. 2 full bathrooms, 2 half, and a shower with central air conditioning and an attached garage. The lot for this property is 7,815 square feet, so it is smaller than the subject. And this property sold for $750,000 or $761,300 for the time adjusted price, which is $286.42 per square foot. So again, I would say this location is inferior, although this property is a few blocks away from the Assiniboine Forest, but still has an inferior location to the subject. The third comparable is 81 Lynn Drive, which again is in Ridgedale, so an inferior location. Two-story, built in 1997, 3,112 square feet, so this property is the closest to being the same size as the subject. Full basement, which is finished, 3 full bathrooms, 1 half, 2 showers, central air conditioning, and an attached garage. This property has a lot which is 14,467 square feet, and it has an Assiniboine influence. So it's it kind of backs onto the Assiniboine river, but is separated by like a green space. This property sold for $1,030,000, or with the time adjustment, $1,088,000, which is $349.84 per square foot. So although this property is similar in size, I would say that the location for the influence backing onto the Assiniboine river would be a superior influence to the subjects. And the final comparable, although it is quite a bit smaller, so this is 24 Swan Drive, which is on the same street as the subject. It's a two-story built in 1998. It is quite a bit smaller, 2,392 square feet. Has a full basement which is finished, 3 full bathrooms, a half and a shower, central air conditioning, an attached garage, and it does have an in-ground pool. The lot is a little bit larger at 11,138 square feet. And this property sold for $882,600 or $930,300 with the time adjustment, $388.92 per square foot. So this property is smaller, and I would say has a higher level of renovation to the subject. but I did want to include it just to show what the location, just to give an idea of what properties might sell for in this location. So, overall, I do think that the subject is assessed within a reasonable, range of value.
Thank you. Do you have questions for the assessor?
Yes. Comparable number one, how far away is it from the subject property?
Well, there's a map on the second page, which shows, so comparable one is kind of to the bottom left, and the subject is at the top right.
How far is that?
I'm not, like in kilometers?
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Could you walk?
I would say not.
Yeah. Would it surprise you that it's 4.2 kilometers?
If you said so, I would believe
Okay.
it.
How about comparable number two, how far is that?
Well, just looking at the map again, it looks like comparable number two is maybe similar.
2.9 kilometers. Comparable number three, how far is that?
That's in the same area as comparable number one, so I would guess
4.2 kilometers. How many potholes do you have to drive through to reach these comparables from the main road?
is that a rhetorical question?
No, it's an actual question. I mean, we're talking about the neighborhood. So you said that these were inferior locations. So what kind of road access is there to my house versus these inferior homes?
I'm not sure I understand exactly what your question is. You want me
Well-
to count potholes?
Well, you know, if I was going to buy one of these homes, and as I drove up to it, it was akin to riding on a horse, I might sort of turn around and say, you know, I'm not really interested in living in this neighborhood.
I'm sorry, I don't understand your question.
Well, I mean, you said that these were inferior locations. I can tell you that to get to my house, there's a poorly maintained road that's full of potholes. So do these homes also have poorly maintained roads leading up to them that are filled with potholes?
Oh, I couldn't specifically say. I'm not
Okay.
sure.
These homes, when their owners put in internet access, do they only have the slowest available internet access from the MTS company?
We don't assess for internet access or potholes. I'm not sure that I could.
But these are inferior locations. So comparable number four, which is across the street, you say that the time-adjusted price is $930,300. Why didn't the city assess that house at $930,300?
I couldn't, I'm not really sure. I can't discuss the assessment of another person.
So, well, that's true, but you're saying that my house should be valued higher than comparable number four, yet the city doesn't actually think that comparable number four is worth $933,300.
Well, one of the reasons that we don't compare assessments is because we don't know what level of renovation the city has in our database for the comparable. So I couldn't really, that's the reason I can't really discuss the assessment of the comparable. All I can say is that if comparable 4 has a time adjustment of 930,000 and is 1,000 square feet smaller than your property, even in a slightly higher level of renovation, I think 902 would be reasonable for your property.
Have you looked at the current MLS listing for that house?
I can't look at the listing unless it has actually sold, so.
But it would allow you to look at the pictures and see what the house looks like.
I did look at the pictures
Mhm.
from the sale, yes, from the
Yeah.
sale.
You saw the spectacular backyard and beautiful pool and the floor that doesn't warp.
If that was what was in the sale in October of 2015, then I would have looked at those pictures, yes.
Do you know that the house has been on the market since May at well below what you say it's worth?
Again, I don't look at properties that are just listed. The only data that I can look at is if the property is actually sold and if it's from before the run stage.
But it hasn't sold since May at well less than what you're saying it's worth.
I think she's answered that question.
it's my turn to do my evidence then?
No, we get to ask her questions.
Oh,
and then
I
you get your
apologize.
turn. No,
Sorry, I
that's,
apologize.
that's okay. Ms. Rempel?
Yes, you indicated you had done an inspection of this property,
I did.
and that was in 2019 at some point?
It was a week, about a week, it was last week.
About
Yeah.
a week ago. And did you get into the property
I
and the
did,
home?
yeah.
Okay. And can you tell us the result of that inspection?
Well, one of the reasons for the inspection was because there was a permit taken out for a kitchen renovation. So I wanted to see what the renovation was and any other potential renovations in the property.
And had the kitchen renovation been completed?
It was complete, yes. In this case, I am not attributing further value to the kitchen renovation at this time. I feel that the renovation is already taken into account in the $902,000. The renovation was, like I looked at the MLS listing from 2013, when this
Okay.
property, when this couple did purchase it, and the kitchen had been already renovated at that time, so this renovation was just more to, I guess, make it to their liking kind of type of renovation, so it wasn't like making it above
Okay.
what it had been, yeah, if you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like sprucing it up a bit as opposed to
Yeah,
doing a
like,
total
it had granite
renovation.
countertops already, and
Okay.
they just put in different granite countertops, and it had nice cabinets already, and now it's different, nice cabinets, and
But there's
there was
new
a window that
granite
was
countertops?
there are granite countertops.
Are they new?
They were.
The granite was replaced?
I believe it was, that would probably be a better question to ask the applicant. I'm not
Okay.
sure.
And was there a value on the renovation in the kitchen,
It was,
on the building permit?
yeah, the value was $80,000. Again, it might be better to ask the applicants about this, but I suspect a large part of the value was that a window was moved, and it looked like some plumbing had been moved as well, so I'm guessing that was a large part of the value, but.
Okay, thank you. That's all my questions. Thank you.
Ms. Davidson?
I have no questions at this time, thanks.
I have no questions either, so please proceed with your presentation.
Good afternoon, board members, and Ms. Nichols. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak to you about the value of my property. I've sort of outlined this in writing. I would like to begin, first of all, by quoting from a booklet that's available on the city's website, which says, the city of Winnipeg has seen little change in the value of both residential and condominium properties from April 1, 2016 to April 1, 2018. Residential properties have slightly increased by approximately 0.15% per month. So going back to the 2018 assessment for my house, that was $850,000. And the 2020 assessment is $902,000. So that is a rate of increase almost twice as what the city quotes. If we were just to apply the rate that the city gives, would give a value of $880,000. Now, looking at the comparables here, Ms. Nichols has presented some. 3 of them are nowhere in the same neighborhood. One is across the street, but the city doesn't think that that house is actually worth what they, this $930,000. They've assessed it well below that. Now, I don't think that my house value should be based on that inflated price, nor should it be based on what the city assessed it at, but I think that disqualifies it as a comparable. So I have assembled some comparable properties that are in the same neighborhood within walking distance. I've outlined the prices and sort of the time adjusted as per the algorithm of the city. The one exception was, I believe, 3091 Bealoo. I don't know how the city does its time adjustments, so for the last 2 years, I just took that 0.15% per month, and I obtained the value that way, because apparently, I mean, if I knew how the city did it, then I would do my best to do that, but I can't. These properties you will see the houses are smaller than my house. There are, however, much larger lots that back onto the river. And finally, I just wanted to sort of, talk about something that I don't think Ms. Nichols took into account. I want you to imagine that you're shopping for your home. You're looking at a house, and you go down to the basement and you ask, what's that there in the corner, that white piping? And the real estate agent tells you, well, that's a pump to pump out a odorless, colorless gas that's radioactive and gives you lung cancer. But don't worry, it's all taken care of, you don't have to worry about it. There's a system for it. How many potential home buyers are gonna say, goodbye, thank you, I'm not interested? I know if I was buying a house, I would be out of there quicker than, well, I don't have a good metaphor for that, but I'll be out of there pretty quick. Now, we found out about this after we bought the house and we decided we weren't gonna sell it, and we're okay checking the radon levels every year and making adjustments and making additional repairs to keep that level at an acceptable range. But that's gonna drive buyers away. That's gonna have a big impact on the sale of our property. So putting it all together, taking into account the fact that I don't think my property has grown in value at twice the rate of the city average, looking at sales of homes in the neighborhood, and finally the fact that we've got radon in our house, I think 860,000 is a more reasonable estimate. If somebody thinks that 902,000 is a reasonable estimate, please see after the meeting, maybe we can work something out. I'll be very happy to sell it to you for that price. Thank you.
Thank you. Do you have questions for them?
I do. So just looking at the last page of the evidence.
Mm-hmm.
I just wanted to, so I know you already touched on the size difference, that the
Yes,
properties are quite similar, so I'm just gonna skip over that. Would you agree that the properties are also quite a bit older than your property? The first comparable is 18 years older, the second is 20 years older.
Yes,
and
but
then
as you mentioned repeatedly, I don't know the state of renovations of those properties.
Okay, so these properties could be much less renovated than your property.
Yes, but they are in the same neighborhood.
You don't think that renovating a property would have an impact on the value?
It may or may not. I think that, I'm not an expert in real estate, but the old saying is location, location, location.
That's all the questions that I have, thank you.
Thank you very much. Ms. Rumpel?
Yes, I wonder if you can tell me a little bit more about this kitchen renovation and when you actually did the kitchen renovation, when it was completed, and how much it cost you.
When was it?
The renovation began last June, maybe around the 26th. It continued through the summer into the fall. Was officially completed December of last year. And as far as what we did, it was just changing out finishes. We had granite before, which is changed to a lighter granite. As far as cabinetry goes, we had cherry wood, we went to walnut, both nice, higher end cabinetry. We moved a window that was looking directly into our neighbor's yard, and now it looks into our backyard. And everything else was paint. There was some painted cabinetry as well. What else?
I think that's where we had some decorative columns removed that we did not like. Yeah, we changed the color of the paint. Things in the kitchen are, with the appliances are all the same. Some of them have changed in place. The oven was replaced, but we basically replaced the wall oven with another wall oven.
And what was the cost of the renovation?
I don't have, I'd say about 100,000, would that be,
Yeah.
would that be in that neighborhood?
And can you tell me, have you done any other renovations to your home at all?
Let's see, well, we needed to put in an extra ventilation system to deal with the radon, and when that didn't quite work, we needed to put in an extra ventilation system to deal with that. Let's see, what else have we done? We fixed the fence, we've replaced the roof, but as I understand it, having a shoddy roof doesn't doesn't reduce the value of your house, so I don't see why replacing that roof would change the value of your house. You know, some of the appliances have broken down, we've had to replace them, we had to replace the furnace and the air conditioner.
Can you tell me, are other properties around you affected by this radon problem? Or is yours the only one?
Well,
Nobody has.
it's difficult to, as you may know, it's very difficult to know that. I know for sure that the neighbors on one side, what's their address?
I don't know, but they're right in the corner.
Yeah, that they've had a system put in. I can't speak about any of the other homes. My understanding is that it's kind of a patchwork thing, so, you know, one house may have it, the neighbor next door won't. It's got to do with the soil and the foundation and all that, so.
Okay, thank you, that's all my questions.
Ms. Davidson, just a couple of questions. You came up with your ask of 860,000, sounds like utilizing the city's published, across the city rate of increase for residences. Do you know what the rate of increase for the neighborhood you're in was versus the overall average for the city?
I don't, there have not been that many sales in, you know, in the immediate neighborhood.
So is that published on the city's website?
For
the
that
neighborhood?
neighborhood? I don't think so, I think, I'm not sure.
What was the increase in that neighborhood?
I don't know.
You don't have that book with you?
No, I don't.
Okay. Then the other question was, well, maybe just back to that. I'm guessing, but I could be wrong, that the increase in your neighborhood would have been greater than the city average, because that takes in obviously, you know, the entirety of the city. Would that be fair to say?
You know, I have no way of knowing that. I don't, yes, it does take into the entirety of the city. I'm sure it takes into it houses that have increased at a rate greater than mine. It just takes, houses that have increased at a lower rate.
Yeah, it
or,
takes into account all of them.
So, but no, I don't have a number. If I did, I would gladly use it.
Okay, and then my other question is, in terms of the radon, since you've moved into your house, how much have you had to invest in radon mitigation efforts, like equipment or changes to your house?
The sub-slab depressurization was about $4,000. The enhanced ventilation we had to put in HRV was about another $5,000.
And this was done after purchase?
This was done after purchase, yes, and we'll see this winter how well a job it has done and if more money is required.
Okay, fingers crossed.
Yes, yes.
Okay, thank you, that was all my questions.
You just asked my questions, so thank you very much, Elizabeth Huss.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Please come forward, 228 Grenville Boulevard.
Would you like to swear or? Okay, please state your name.
Lynn Thorlickson?
Do you swear that the evidence you're about to present is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Thank you very much.
Please proceed.
Copies?
Oh,
Yes.
sorry.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
The subject property is 228 Grenville Boulevard, roll number 10-00-299-3000. This property is in a tuxedo. It is a one-story built in 1951. We do have an effective age of 1981 on this property, which again indicates renovations. The living area is 1,840 square feet. This property has a full part area basement and the portion, I guess, that can be finished has a full bathroom, 2 half bathrooms, a shower, central air conditioning, and an attached single car garage. The lot is 9,747 square feet, and this property is currently assessed for 2020 at $655,000 or $355.98 per square foot. The first comparable is 236 Hansard Boulevard, which is also an old tuxedo, 1-story, built in 1953. Living area 1,528 square feet, so it is smaller than the subject property. It does have a full basement, which is finished, 1 full bathroom, 2 half bathrooms, 2 showers, air conditioning, and a detached multiple car garage. The lot for this property is similar at 10,131 square feet. This property does have a few negative influences on it: bus route, bus stop, external corner, heavy traffic, and school. So this property sold for $525,000, or it was pretty close to the record date, February of 2018, but the time adjustment brings it to $526,600, or $344.63 per square foot. The second comparable is 120 Girton Boulevard, also an old tuxedo, also a 1-story, built in 1954. This property is 2,079 square feet, so larger than the subject, but it does have a full part area basement, which is the same as the subject, and it does have a finished portion of the basement. It has 1 full bathroom, 2 half bathrooms, a shower, central air conditioning, an attached garage, as well as a detached garage. The lot for this property is 13,000 square feet, so that's larger than the subject, and the time adjusted sale price is $714,600, or $343.72 per square foot. The third comparable is 1572 Wellington Crescent, also an old tuxedo. It is a 1.5-story, built in 1922, so it is older than the subject, but it does have an effective age of 1982, so it has been renovated. The living area is 1,371 square feet, full part area, which is the same as the subject, and part of the basement is finished. 1 full bathroom, 1 half bathroom, 1 shower. No air conditioning is listed for this property, and it does have a detached single car garage. The lot is 14,784 square feet, and this property has a light traffic influence, which is a negative, and a park influence, which would be a positive. This property is sold for a time adjusted price of $510,600, or $372.43 per square foot. And the final comparable is 415 Kelvin Boulevard, which is in Tuxedo, so an adjacent neighborhood, not the same neighborhood. It is a 1-story, built in 1962, 1,760 square feet, so close in size. The subject, a full basement, which is finished, 1 full bathroom, 2 half bathrooms, a shower, central air conditioning, an attached multiple car garage. Lot 11,044 square feet, which is larger than the subject's. And the time adjusted sale price for this property was $582,300, or $329.36 per square foot. So for this property, I did want to reflect the full part area basement, because I'm aware that that would be a lower, like, what's the word? Not a less than a full basement. The word that I'm looking for is gone, but so I did want to reflect that. So comparables 2 and 3 do both have full part area basements. So what I'm looking at for this property is mostly the price per square foot, because there is quite a range in the living areas of these properties. So the price per square foot ranges from $329.36 on the low end up to $372.43 on the higher end, and the subject is at $355.98. So I believe that this property is within an appropriate range of value.
Thank you. Do you have questions of the assessor?
I do, a couple. Just so I understand, the full dash part area basement, that's accounting for the fact that there's no basement under our addition?
Right.
Okay. And even in, just to note, I guess, and I cover it in mine, but the basement that's under the original bungalow, certainly not all of it was finished. You know, it's the laundry space and the workshop and the furnace. There was sort of a rec room created by gluing down some carpet, and so it's not really finished, but anyway. The other question I have is, why do the comparables keep changing on my property? We did meet last fall, and there were 4 comparables selected by the city at that point. When I got the letter in June saying, okay, this is what we've arrived at, 2 of the comparables had changed. And when I walked in this afternoon, these are 4 new comparables again. So I'm having trouble keeping up.
I can explain that. So, I guess you must have met with one of my colleagues.
Oh, I thought you looked maybe similar. I don't specifically remember.
Yeah. No, it definitely wasn't me, but yes, I see that you did meet with one of my colleagues. So I don't know which comparables they brought. The comparables you're looking at online are they're called just auto comparables, so it's just from the computer. The computer is just giving some examples of properties that may be comparable to yours. And the comparables I brought today were properties that I specifically chose that I thought were comparable to your property.
Thank you. I was also told, just one further question, when I did meet with your colleague in the fall, that the city only compared bungalows to bungalows, not because I had found some comparables that were 2-story or this or that. So in the 4 that you've selected, one is 1.5 stories, so it's not a bungalow.
Mhm.
It's also sort of outside what's normally considered North Tuxedo. So again, I'm just having trouble knowing what the rules are.
So usually, you're right, we would like to compare, a 1-story to a 1-story. In this case, I chose a 1.5 story because I wanted to show another property that had that full part area basement. Just to kind of illustrate the effect that might have on the value.
That's all your
That's the
questions?
only questions for the assessor,
Oh, okay,
thanks.
thank you. Ms. Rumpel?
I have no questions, thank you.
Okay, Ms. Davidson?
I have a question. It sounded like this property was reviewed at the preview period, or the preview program.
Okay, I can check the notes. So, yes, there is from April of 2019. One of my colleagues met with the applicant.
And was the assessment lowered as a result?
Okay, let me just double check. I believe it was, although I don't see what the original value was at that time, but yes, it looks like the value was lowered to $655, which is what we're looking at today.
But we don't know what it was on the initial roll.
No, I don't see that in the note. I don't see that in the note. No,
Okay.
sorry.
And my other question is this subject property been inspected recently?
I'm not seeing any notes for recent. Oh, 2009. Looks like in 2009 it was inspected. I guess maybe that was the addition.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's a while back. Okay, thank you very much. No more questions, thank you.
I have no questions. So please proceed with your
Okay.
presentation.
I have given you each copies, and yes, as I said, I met with one of the colleagues in the fall because, to be frank, I only retired last fall, and I hadn't, sort of paid good attention over the years, and it was astronomical. So I did my homework and went through and found other comparables and, learned that they didn't count this and they didn't count that, and that's fair. I didn't know what the rules were. And yes, it was lowered somewhat, but in my opinion, not to what's justified by the characteristics of the home or the other comparables. So I'd like to just go through it. I know you've got copies, but forgive me. The house itself, we've been in the neighborhood for 27 years, so nearly 28. It's a 50s bungalow. It was a typical 3-bedroom bungalow, living room, dining room, kitchen. And in the late 2000s, we sort of started 2008 and then finished by 2009 when the inspection occurred. It started as one of those, we knew we needed to change the windows. If you remember 50s houses, they had those 3 little holes, that was the only ventilation in the storm windows, and we thought, we need better windows, better blah, blah, blah. And then we thought, well, we've always wanted a sunroom, okay, so we added an addition at that time. The house, however, if you, as you flip over, the pictures might help. We're very close to the intersection of where Tuxedo Avenue cuts in at a 45-degree angle to both Corridon and Grenfell. So we're sort of 5 houses off of Corridon, but we're still considerably impacted by the commercial influence of the Tuxedo Parking Wall, the Shell station, the bus routes, and so on. So while we're not exactly on the corner, the Google Map image shows we are the red roof on Grenfell. And there is the school and the strip mall and the Greek restaurant and the Shell station and the Roomers and so on. We're, the house suits us, but we're used to it. The bedrooms are small, the closet space is inadequate. The basement is, the ceiling is very low. We looked at whether, because as I mentioned, it was quote-unquote finished in the, or the rec room area, probably in the 80s before we bought the home. Cold floor with just carpet glued down on top of it. You look at, lots of people raise the floor a little and put a wooden floor so it's not so cold, but the ceiling's so low and the heating vents, it's just not possible. The windows are way smaller than, they're typical of a 50s home, but way smaller than code now allows for egress, so we can't really use the basement for bedrooms or anything like that. Single garage, and there is no room to increase it to a double. We are, we are on the lot and there isn't any room to the side. Our backyard is, we enjoy the trees and feeding the birds, so we don't want to take all that out just to put a garage in there. So we're limited by a single garage. We have electric heat, not natural gas. And as I say, on the back of that sheet, you can see the look of the house and where it's situated. I spent considerable time on the next 2 tables based on my thinking that those were the comparables that the city was using. So just I won't spend a lot of time on this. The column in the yellow is our home, what the living area is, how many rooms, the lot size, and so on. And then on the first sheet with figures, properties that I've labeled at the top, A, B, C, and D, were the ones that the city had attached to our property last fall. Those were the ones I was analyzing last fall when I met with the representative from the assessment department. My basic difficulty with all of those 4, and even considering the 2 new ones that showed up when I opened the letter last June, is essentially these are all in the middle of blocks or in quite a ways away from Corridon. They are not subject to the commercial influence of the businesses, the traffic, the buses that we are. They are all considerably newer. I did an average on the year built, so to speak, being 1964. We're a 51 bungalow. Sorry, I did have one more question. I guess it's too late to ask, but anyway, on the sheet from the assessor, giving the effective age of 1981 for our property. We added 400 square feet in 2009, and that brings the average, so that part is new, I'll admit that. but that brought the average age up by 30 years, from 51 to 81. That I don't understand. Anyway, all of these other quote-unquote comparable properties tend to have much more garage space, so at least a double garage, sometimes attached, sometimes not, and all on, just much better locations, in my opinion. So I looked at the time adjusted prices and did a per square foot value for those. And I know you don't make decisions by comparing other assessment values, but I did look at the other assessed values because that's all I had for mine, our assessed value. Often, if you look at the first two properties A and B, the time adjusted price for property A was $679.9, but their proposed assessed value is significantly less. So often the assessed value is coming down. I compared using the average per square foot assessment value and arrived at 2020 assessment at the bottom in yellow highlight.
Yeah, we can't look at that. We can look at the time adjusted sale prices, but not the assessed values.
Yeah, so, but I do not consider those to be comparable properties. And I don't also, you'll see when you flip to the next one, I did select the first comparable that the assessor has represented in the case chart, the 236 Hansard. But some other comparable properties, in my opinion, from that middle Tuxedo area. It's very hard to find sales in that North Tuxedo section. So looking at the same sort of characteristics of those properties, and those, just so you can get a sense, I provided some photos. I drove around yesterday and provided some photos of those. Again, worked an average of those 5 to get, an average year built, average size, average sale price. If I were to use those, but pointing out that even those have better locations, generally a 2-car garage, and are a little bit newer, using the sales price per square foot, it's $548,320. I will, because I haven't had a lot of time to look at the other ones identified by the assessor, I know enough of our neighborhood to make a comment on why I do not consider the city's selected comparable number 2 to be comparable. This is a home situated between Wellington Crescent and Nanton Boulevard. It is well away from any of the commercial influences and the noise that we have. Almost all of that, I think that's one of only 2 or 3 bungalows on that block. The rest are quite large 2 stories, very gracious homes. Usually, I think that block is somewhere between 75 and 100-foot lots. So the context, the location of that one makes it, in my mind, not comparable at all to ours. I also know, again, I see that it was sold in June of 2015, and when I looked up the sales data that I had access to, none of them went back as far as 2015. It's 16 and 17 and 18, so the link that the city gives us to check comparable sales didn't include anything in 2015. However, I know who owned that house. I know how much renovation had been done before that sale when the gentleman died in 2015, and it was not comparable at all to our home. Comparable 3, as I said, it's a 1.5 story. It's away from, the sort of the Tuxedo neighborhood, in my opinion. I don't see that one as and a much, much larger lot facing the river. So I don't see that one as comparable. The 415 Kelvin, comparable number 4. Actually, I'd say, you know, that was one of the ones that the city had used in the initial list of comparables. So I recognize that one, but it's got double garage, it's middle of the block, well away from commercial and traffic noise, a larger lot. So I actually do not agree with the comparables that have been presented to you by the assessor today, and I feel strongly that the 5 comparables that I've shown on my sheet are really the ones that are comparable to our property. And in my opinion, a much fairer value would be around the 550 mark, not the 650.
Thank you. Do you have questions for the applicant?
I do. So, I guess your comparable G, the first comparable from the list that you're presenting. Okay, so I'm just gonna, so the time adjusted sale price for that property was 5,966.
Yep.
And we actually have that one in common.
Yep.
So, you're requesting 548,360. Is that taking into account that this property is over 300 square feet smaller?
But the price per square foot is what I focused on because of those differences.
Okay, so price per square foot. So you're, okay, so the 548, 320, is there, sorry, I'm sorry, does it show somewhere what that price?
Okay, so if you, that whole, I guess the 4th row up from the bottom of my table of the comparables that I selected, is the time adjusted price, the time adjusted sales price for all 5 of those, which you can see is 526 and then 448, 477. But I did a per square foot calculation in the row immediately under that. So so we're in agreement on comparable 1. The per square foot value of 236 Hansard is $345.
Right.
The next 2, both on Kelvin, again, well away from Corridon, middle of that section of mid-Tuxedo, much quieter locations, double garages, blah-de-de-blah. Price per square foot for those 2 are in like the 280, 264.
Okay, but sorry, the value that you're requesting, the 548, is there somewhere where the price per square foot is calculated for that one?
I used the average, sorry,
Oh,
sorry,
okay.
the average of all those 5 in the green column down at the far right is $298 per square foot of all those 5.
And that equals 548.
And then I timesed our 1,840 square feet, and it comes to 548.
And the 485 above that is? so
Oh, that's just the average, that whole green column is the average sales price, the 485, 240, of those 5 properties. And it doesn't count ours, because of course we didn't sell it.
Right.
And when you divide that by the average
Oh, I see.
square footage, it gets to
Okay.
298.
And then you use 298 and multiply it by.
Yeah, and then by our 1,840 square feet.
Okay, so basically, you're using 298 per square foot. Hansard was 345 per square foot, but they did have bus route, bus stop, external corner, heavy traffic influence, and a school influence.
And
So
I
you
would,
think your price per square foot should be lower than theirs considering
okay,
their
so
negative?
that's 236 Hansard is one comparable.
Yeah, but I'm just
And-
like looking at that one. If
Yeah.
they're at 345 per square foot, and considering all of their negative influences,
And
you don't
if
have
you
any
look
negative
at
influences
the
in your
second page in the Google map, I would contend that we have those same influences. The number 18 bus is turning around by the Shell every 10 minutes. The snow clearing equipment is is very active through the winter in the parking lot there. There are 3 major roads coming into Corydon right at that corner. There are people trying to avoid the traffic light, so they skirt down our street instead of, to avoid the light. And it is, 236 Hansard is 1 street over from us. So, with the pedestrian crossing for the school.
That was the only question.
Okay, thank you. Go ahead.
I'm wondering if you can tell me, since you built the sunroom in 2009, have there been any other renovations to your home?
No.
No renovations
No.
since 2009?
No.
Can you tell me what your original 2020 assessment was?
I think I brought that with me. 692.
692. And I just want to make sure I understand this correctly. You indicated that 236 Hansard Boulevard, which is right on the corner, I understand, of Corydon and Tuxedo.
Corydon.
And Grenfell.
And Corydon and Hansard.
Okay, Corydon and Hansard,
So
right
they're
on.
1 block further left in the Google map or west in reality.
So it's 1, 2, 3, 4 houses down from you on your map?
No, it would be hidden by, forgive me.
Oh, careful.
Sorry,
No, it just.
I just want to make
yeah,
sure I
Of course,
understand.
of course, you don't know all these there. So Grenfell is here.
Yep.
Hansard is here behind, this
Okay.
thing,
Mhm.
and they are right in the corner.
Right on Corydon.
And right opposite, this is Tuxedo Park School,
Yep.
and there's a pedestrian corridor right there. So they are right on Corydon, I
Okay.
admit that. But we hear the buses just as much as they do.
Okay. So you feel that you have all the same influences they do,
Yes,
but you feel that your house should be a lower time-adjusted price per square foot than theirs?
I was considering other comparables as well. The comparables where the house perhaps is comparable, but the location was better. And that's my examples, basically H, I, J, and K. Well, H, I, and J. Kelvin and Folkestone, they're much quieter residential streets. They face just another house or, in fact, sometimes sort of parkish areas. And yet their sales price is much lower. So it occurs to me that perhaps the city feels there's some premium because we're in North Tuxedo instead of the middle section of Tuxedo. But when I'm looking out my front window at the Shell station, I don't think it's justified.
Okay, thank you, that's all my questions.
I have no questions, thank you.
I have no questions either. Thank you very much. Okay. So the next matter, the 94 Shoreline Drive,
Mhm.
please read it in.
Just the roll number or the whole thing?
Short version.
Okay. 94 Shoreline Drive, roll number 10-000-453-800. Located in Linden Woods, 1 story, built in 2002, 2357 square feet. with a
Thank
finished-
you.
Thank you.
With a finished basement. Air conditioning and attached garage, lot 8,326 square feet, assessed at 729 or 309.29 per square foot. The comparables are all built within that same, built within from 2002 up to 2006. Square footage ranging from 1851 up to 2303, so close to the subject. All finished basements, all have air conditioning, all have attached garages, all have slightly larger lots ranging from 7960 up to 9943. Two of the properties, the last two comparables are in Linden Ridge, because there are not very many bungalows of this size that are sold, especially in Linden Woods. It's a smaller area, so I did go to Linden Ridge, which is an adjacent area, and Linden Ridge would be an inferior location to Linden Woods, in my opinion. So all of these properties have none to maybe some very minor renovations, and the sale prices per square foot range from $290.49 up to $362.78.
Thank you. Did anyone have any questions for this?
I have no questions.
I have no questions, thank you.
Okay, thank you. The next matter is 98 Royal York Drive.
Okay, so roll number 10-000-164-900. It's again a one-story, built in 1986 in Linden Woods. It's 1627 square feet with a finished basement, central air conditioning, an attached garage, and an in-ground pool. This property has a lot of 6,376 square feet, and it does have a heavy traffic influence. So if you look at the map, this one backs onto Sterling Line, I believe. Yeah, Sterling Line. So the assessed value for this property is $470,000 or $288.88 per square foot. So the comparables, all the comparables I chose have similar negative influences. So heavy traffic influences on comparable 1 and 4, medium traffic with bus stop influences on comparable 3, and a commercial adjacent influence on comparable 2. All built within that same kind of range, 1985 to 1993. All one stories, similar square footage, finished basements. The first comparable does have a larger lot, all the rest are very comparable. And the prices per square foot range from $265 per square foot up to $303 per square foot.
Thank you. Any questions for these?
None for me.
None for me either, thank you.
Okay, thank you. The next matter is 221 Lindenwood Drive East.
Roll number 10-006327200. Also in Linden Woods, a bungalow built in 1988, 1412 square feet with a finished basement, central air conditioning, attached garage, lot 7,887 square feet, and it does have a medium traffic influence with a bus route, so it's on the loop that goes around Linden Woods basically. This property is assessed at $441,000 or $312.32 per square foot. So again, all the comparables I've chosen have the same influence, the same medium traffic and bus route influence. Comparable 1 and 4 are also on Linden Woods Drive, so on that same loop. And comparables 2 and 3 are on streets that basically, that's how you enter the area. So the year built are ranging from between 1984 up to 1995, so very similar to the subject. Square footage for the comparable ranges between 1474 up to 1671. All have full finished basements with air conditioning and garages. Lots ranging from 6,394 up to 8,171. And the comparables sold with a range from 276 per square foot up to 346 per square foot.
Any questions?
No questions.
No questions.
No questions, okay. All right. And last but not least, 98 Cullen Drive.
Okay, so roll number 01-005-448700. This property is in Westville. It's a bungalow built in 1972, just over 1,000 square feet, 1,040 square feet, full finished basement, air conditioning, and a detached multiple car garage. The lot is 5,994 square feet, and this property does have a negative influence of the light traffic, as well as bus route to school. So the comparable properties I'm looking at all have the same like traffic, bus route, et cetera, negative influence. This property sold for $294, or sorry, pardon me, it's assessed at $294, with per square foot of $282.69. So all of the comparables are in the same neighborhood, all 1 stories, all very close to the year built between 1969 and 1971. All are very similar in square footage, 1,056 up to 1,091 square feet. All have full finished basements, all have central air conditioning, all have a garage except for comparable number 2, which has no garage. And lot sizes are all very similar, ranging from 5691 up to 6826 square feet. And the sale prices, the time adjusted sale prices for these properties range from 246 up to 269 per square foot.
Thank you. Any questions for the assessor?
No questions?
No questions.
Any questions?
If I could just say one further additional thing for this property. Let me just check my notes, but I believe, yeah, I attempted to contact the owner for this property, but I didn't hear back, and so consequently, I don't know the level of renovation for this property compared to the comparable properties. So, that's the reason that I haven't made any adjustment to the assessed value of this property, even though some of these comparables are showing on the lower side. These properties have all not been renovated, and I don't know if the subject has been or not.
Did you make multiple attempts to?
I have a note that I left a message on October the 9th, and then I called again later in October, but never heard back.
Okay, so you attempted a couple times.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. So I'm just making a note. Okay, well, thank you very much. We now close the hearing.